Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. And this is another show strategies, tactics, and boosts for F1 class. We are closing up to the weekend, and this is what we're going to talk about. Easter is Easter event is is running. I hope you had good results in the qualifying round. I hope the strategies of the qualifying round helped you. The video we made so you can succeed and get qualified for the opening and the finals. I hope we helped you, and this is what we are aiming to do today again. First of all, let's see the tracks we are going to race this weekend. We begin with rainy Netherlands, a wet race 100%. Then we travel to France with a small percent possibility of raining, as you can see, 25%. Then Azerbaijan, Baku, and 71% of raining. Too much rain this event. It's going to be a wet event. The fourth race, the fourth track, the fourth country we're visiting is Bahrain and Sakir Desert, a dry race there. A dry race also in Austria, where we are going to have our fastest lap. Sixth track, Silverstone in the United Kingdom, again a dry race, as it is in Abu Dhabi. And then our final race is in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, with a 9% possibility of raining, and mainly this thing, when we have percentage of raining like 9, 10, 11%, this means that we are probably going into mixed conditions, some rain, some dry minutes, and this is how it is going to go for most of the race. So let's start. Oh, again. Okay. No. One day I will remember to take it. Not again. I forgot it on the desk. Anyway, let's start our review of the tracks, and of course we are beginning with Netherlands, Zandvoort, a typical 7 lap strategy for Zandvoort, and a typical corner and grip track. So 4-3, tune in, Tsar, Prince. We can use exception if we want, but as a last choice, my best choices here are tune in, Tsar, and Prince. And don't forget what we did last time in Netherlands with the wet compound. Just saying, we made it. We made 7 laps with Tsar without pitting, and I got P1, P2. It was fun. Don't do this. Don't try this. And as you can see, 3-4 for the second driver. Again, tune in, Tsar, Prince. As an alternative, we can see Kupa or Hex. Let's see Kupa. As you can see, some acceleration, 5 points in wetness, and some overtaking. But okay, as an alternative choice, we can go with acceleration and overtaking, Kupa, Hex, exception, but mainly tune in, Tsar, and Prince are the best choices here for wet conditions in Netherlands. Second track, France. Here we have a possibility of raining, so let's see first of all the dry conditions. And as you can see, 2-3-3 soft, medium, medium, hook vice. This means, and firework. This means speed, acceleration, and speed. And instinct, of course, as a fourth choice. If I have a driver in P1, P2, I like vice, I like firework. If it's a little bit further back, then I like hook with acceleration and good overtaking. And of course, as I always say, the second stint is medium because we're going to push a lot. The third stint can be done with soft, but we're not going to push at all, and probably we are using some green button pushing too. Exactly the opposite, 3-3-2, again with the same boosts, but here, if you want, the first stint can be done with the soft compound. Again, no pushing, some green button, and we will just go along with the others and leave pushing the red button in the last two stints with a medium, and 3 laps with a medium and 2 with the soft compound. Now, this is a different strategy. This is a new addition to the strategies that we've been seeing for a long time. 2-3-3, all with softs. We are going with having the speed from our compound, so 2-3-3 with softs, downforce or eagle, the best two choices, alternatively Nazar. As we can see, let's go back to the map. As you can see here, there are a lot of corners and there is a lot of overtaking in corners. Sector 2, especially corners 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 are great for overtaking, so downforce and eagle would be a good choice with a soft compound. We can overtake in sector 1, 3, 4, 5, and sometimes we have overtaking in corners 8 and 9, but mainly corners 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 3, 4, 5. So downforce would be a good help. Here, let's go back to our strategy. Downforce would be a good choice here. Haven't tried it, thinking about it, and I know some fellow guys, some friends of mine in F1 Greece have tried this strategy with big success. So one time I'm going to use it too, but if you won't try it, they say it's very, very effective. And this is the strategy I used last time in our event, 4-4 with the mediums and Taurus. It didn't work out for me. If you start at the top of the grid, I don't think this is the best strategy you can follow. But if you are in the middle of the grid and especially at the back of the grid, then this is a very good strategy. But when you are in front of the grid, I think you need something a little bit faster, and this is not the way to go. Now, if it rains, of course, we can use the fast and furious way, hex an exception, 2-3-3, no need for tire boosting, wet compound, we can do 3 laps and push without having second thoughts. Of course, we can do 4-4 with Wedge, again with Hex and Exception, alternatively with Koopa and Merlion, but Hex and Exception, the best choices here. We will push less, but again, we can do it and we can be fast. I prefer this one, but this is not a bad alternative. And finally, especially if you are at the back of the grid and you want to be patient, play the long game, 5-3 with Frost. We need Frost here, so we can do 5 laps with the wet compound and be able to push. So Frost 5-3. Taurus is an alternative, but mainly we would like to go for a wet boost. Next one, Baku. Okay, for me, this is a Fast and Furious track, but I can hear you saying that in the Old Town Sector 2, we can go with downforce, with boosts that have something similar to France, with downforce and soft, so we can be able to be fast in the corners and overtake in Sector 2, where with boosts like Deadfast and Eclipse, we don't overtake. We overtake in Sector 3, the yellow sector, mainly. Let's go. 2-3-3, all softs. I can say to you again, if you are at the back of the pack, use this, but if you don't have good tire management, always go one scale above in hardness, go with mediums, so you can be able to push. 2-3-3 with Deadfast, Eclipse or Firework. Even me, when I'm at the top of the grid, I usually like to go the medium stint, the second stint, with the mediums and push a lot, but it's okay, it depends. Many players just go only with the softs here. And of course 3-3-2, again the same boosting, the same strategy, probably the second stint mediums with mediums, so you can push even more. Softs won't give you the ability to push so much. Now, a very interesting choice is this 4-4 with mediums and Street Shark, maybe Eternal Flame, but Street Shark is the best choice here. This is a strategy if you start at the back of the grid. It will give you the ability to stay in the track when all the others will be pitting in laps 2 and 3. Then it's your time to push, overtake, make the space, make the gap, give your driver, your car the time to make the one pit stop you want, and then get out in the 4th lap, and at the 5th and 6th lap again overtake everyone that is pitting. So it's a good strategy when we are at the back of the grid, because we can overtake drivers, we can be on track when all the others are pitting, and it's very successful. When I didn't have the drivers I have now and the car I have now, I use this a lot with great success. So take my advice and try it if you start at the back of the pack. And of course, if your drivers cannot support this, or you don't have Street Shark, or you want to go with a faster boost, you can go 4-4 with Hearts, but then Eclipse, Lumberjack, Firework, Deadfast, Gladiator, so you can make you will do the same thing with the mediums, but here we have a slower compound with fastest boosts. Now, if it rains, because it says there is a high possibility, I think 71% possibility of raining. If it rains, 233, 2 pit stops, hex and exception, the best choices here. And of course 332, again exception and hex, our two choices. And of course we have this one 4-4 with dragon. Dragon is enough, and let's see dragon. Okay, here it is. It will give us 3 entire management. It's enough to push with a wet compound and fuel use, so even easier to push, and don't care about fuel and tires. And of course 3 in wetness. Of course we can use frost. That's the 3 strategies for this track. Of course we would, now that we're talking about it, I would think I would go with this or this strategy with tune-in. It would be a good choice because of the fast pit stops and because we're going to test the theory of corners and grip in the old city. So it would be a good choice to use for these two strategies, to use tune-in. I'm thinking of it. Probably I will do it. One go with hex, and I don't have exception. Oh, I will have. I'm going to have now, but okay. For those of you that doesn't have exception or hex, tune-in would be a very good choice here. Let's go to Bahrain, and here we have added, again, it's a track that we have added new strategies, new tactics. Let's go and see them. First of all, let's go and see the ones we are using all this time with big success. Of course, softs 233, Herald, Vice, Instinct and Hook. If you are at the top of the grid, Herald and Vice. If you are at the back of the grid and you want to do the undercut, Instinct and Hook, better choices than Herald and Vice. Vice is very good when you are at the top of the grid. It gives you a great start, but it's not so good in overtaking, so you better to use it when we are in front. Of course, the same strategy, 332 for the second driver, the same boosts, the same logic, the same everything. If we are a little bit back, Instinct and Hook, probably Hook and secondary Instinct. If we are in front of the pack or in the middle of the pack, we can go with Herald. Vice is for P1, P2, P3, easily a very good choice. Now, let's see our additions. Again, 233, but now we're not using speed, we're not using acceleration, we're not using so much overtaking. We go for corners, grip. That's our main focus. And I have tested with Kavai and with Jin and with Wood. I haven't tested with Skull, but I believe it will work perfectly too, especially if you have to overtake other drivers. Skull is a better choice. I have tested with Kavai, Jin and Wood, as I said, but the main reason I started testing this is that I went up against a maxed out player, and I saw Kavai doing miracles, going like crazy in this track. So maybe we have to think about it more. I haven't tested it against Herald or Vice. My tests were against Instinct and Dead Fast. Dead Fast is not a good boost for here, for this track, but as you see, Instinct, we always say that it's a good boost for this track. Kawai was better. Comparing Kawai with Instinct, Kawai was far better, and I'm thinking of doing more tests with this in the future. You're going to see me on the weekend racing with Kawai, of course, in one of the two drivers. So it's the same for the second driver, Kawai, Jin Wood or Skull, but 332 here. We have the speed from the softs, but in corners, believe me, Kawai, and let's go back and see the track. Give me a moment. Okay, here we are. And as you can see, we go sector 1, the red sector, the big straight, the first big straight, and then corner 1 and 2, Kawai went like a train on tracks. Then corners 4 at the end of sector 1 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Kawai went like hell. It was, I couldn't catch the gap that Kawai made from Instinct was very big. I wouldn't believe, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it. So, and of course, corner 13 and 14, again, Kawai was very fast at these corners and could overtake you easily. So this is where, and Jin, not only Kawai, and Jin, I have tested Jin and it went perfectly also. So probably thinking of going Kawai and Vice this time for my two drivers. Now, if you are at the back of the grid, another good choice is 4-4 with downforce, or Nazar, and of course Eagle. We always said that we can, this is a mixed race, a mixed track. We can choose to go corners and grip or speed and acceleration, but I'm leaning now that probably corners and grip, maybe it's faster, but we will see it. And of course, we can easily go 5-3, mainly if you are at the back of the pack or in the middle of the pack. 5-3, medium soft with Taurus, Eagle, alternatively Frost, and the opposite, 3-5, soft and medium. This is very good if you are at the back of the pack. Do the undercut. Taurus will help you push a lot in your second stint and overtake drivers while they are pitting. Okay, now Austria, the track that we are going to get the fastest lap, the tiebreaker. Well, here, as you can see, sector 1, the red sector, 2 straights, and then the third sector, the second sector, the blue sector, only 1 medium straight, and then a lot of corners, as it is with sector 3. Only in the end we have the straight in front of the pit lane. Now, overtaking here, mainly in the end of the straights. It's like you get as fast as you can, and then on the brakes in corner 3, in corner 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we have overtaking. Sometimes in corner 1 we have overtaking. it's like you go as fast as you can, and then on the brakes you overtake other cars. If you choose to go with speed, with acceleration, if you choose to go like this, well, here we see 5-4 medium compound, Herald, Vice, and Firework. This is if you are in the middle of the pack or at the back of the pack. Herald, a great choice here. You have to go conservatively the first 5 laps, and then the second stint you are pushing a lot. For our second driver, we go grip and corners, downforce, eagle, and razor. 4-5. We need the tire boosting here, so we can push in the second stint with a medium compound where we are going to do 5 laps. Now, the previous strategies were if you are in the middle of the pack, in the back of the pack. This one is if you are at the top of the pack and you are aiming for the fastest lap. Fastest lap in Austria means, let's go and see the setup. We haven't seen it, but let's see it. As you can see, this is the setup I have now: True Grit, Mirage, Vindicator, Hydra, Flow, and Leviathan. If you want to do the fastest lap, instead of True Grit, you are going to use Claw, and instead of Mirage, you are going to use Whirlpool. Let's see them. This is Whirlpool. As you can see, more power, better speed, and the same goes with Claw. More power and more grip, so this means more speed. So you want the fastest lap: Claw, Whirlpool, Vindicator, Hydra, Flow, and Leviathan. This is the setup you have to go. Firework 3-3-2, or you can do 4-5 soft medium, but then when you push for the fastest lap, after you do the fastest lap, you have to go on green so you can reserve your tires and make 4 laps. I usually like to go 3-3-3 when I try for the fastest lap, but it's okay. And of course, this strategy for both your drivers: one Firework, one Vice, because Firework works better, if I remember well, works better in lower temperatures and Vice in higher temperatures. So you give one driver Firework, the second driver Vice, and you try for the fastest lap with both of them. Now, a good alternative is again 3-3-3, but instead of Fast and Furious, we go grip and corners. So wood and tune in. Wood and tune in because we are going to have very fast pit times and gain some seconds because we are not so fast in the straights, but in the corners with wood and tune in, we are going fast enough so we can make good times. Not the fastest lap, but this is a very good strategy, alternative strategy too. Okay, one of my favorite tracks, Silverstone. This is so this is again a mixed track. As you can see, lots of corners and some big straights. You can see sector 1, where we start, and then sector 2, corners 5, 6, 7, corners 9, 11, 12, 13, corners where we can push for some overtaking, but well, corners 3, 4 and 5 always very good spots to overtake. Corner 15, it's where in the last lap everybody is without tires, and if you have tires, it's where we start overtaking drivers. Corners 15, 16, 17, 18. In the last lap, everybody is going without tires, so it's where we can overtake. It's a track that overtaking is not easy, but it's not that difficult if you have the right boosting and the right strategy. So let's go and see. Okay, here we are. So for me, the driver that starts at the lowest position, wherever you are, in front of the pack, in the middle of the pack, in the back of the pack, don't care. 4-3, mediums, Taurus. We have explained a lot about what we do with this strategy. Mainly, we can push a lot because of Taurus in our first stint to stay close to those ones that are pitting in lap 3. Then we push so much, we push a lot in 4th lap to go and get our pit, and after that, if some of them overtake us while we are pitting, we have the medium compound. They usually have the hard compound. If they have the medium compound, they will run out of tires in the last lap. We have the medium compound for 3 laps, fresh tires, Taurus, which gives us fuel and tire management. We can push the whole 3 laps and overtake them even in the last lap when they are out of tires. Usually they are. So this is a strategy that have worked perfectly, and 9 out of 10 times it worked. So I would say go for it. Don't have second thoughts about it. Now, an alternative, it would be 3-4, Jin, Kawai, as you see, Palm and Eternal Flame with a different approach. Jin and Kawai mainly. Here we don't have tire boosting, so we need the hard compound in the stint with the 4 laps. And of course, if we are at the top of the grid, this is what our first driver will go for. 2-3-2, maybe 3-2-2. We'll see about this after the start and where you are. Mainly 2-3-2. Of course, Deadfast, Hex, Eclipse, Instinct, Firework. The best choices here, but only if you start P1, P2, P3. If you are further behind, try the 3-4 strategies mainly. And of course, don't forget the strategy with Taurus is very effective. Okay. Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is one of the fast and furious tracks we like to race. Of course, the beginning of the race, the first sector is a very tricky sector. The start is, the first corner is, everybody stops there. It's like it's like having a pit stop. It's a very tricky situation there. If you can get to overtake there, other cars, it would be very useful there. But mainly we are aiming in corner number 5 to start our overtakings. And of course, the two big straights between corner 5 and 6 and 7, let's say 8 and 9. These are the main spots, the spots we aim to overtake other drivers with the speed we are going to have. 233, Dead Fast Eclipse, Firework and Hex and Gladiator and Lumberjack. You know all about this. This is good if you are at the back of the pack. I always say undertaking. Okay, the undercut. The undercut is a very good choice here and it works perfectly. So do it, but this is a very good strategy, of course, if you are at the top of the grid. For our second driver, the same strategy, 3-3-2. We don't think about mediums here, only if we don't have good management, tire management, then we think about mediums. Softs are okay, we can go 3 laps and push a lot, so 3 stints with softs. Now, this is a good strategy, especially if you are in the middle or at the back of the pack. 4-4, if you are at the back of the pack, one driver do the undercut, the second driver do go 4-4 mediums. Street Shark for me is the better choice, but you can choose Downforce for a different approach, aiming for the slower parts of the track, but I would prefer Street Shark with this strategy. And last one, Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. Of course, you know what I believe here. Well, the first sector is a slow sector, we can be pacing there. When the second sector starts, corner 13, a very fast corner where we can overtake, then be a little bit patient in the next corners, and then from at the end of sector 2 and the beginning of sector 3 we can go. Now I cannot see the numbers, I think it's corner 25, 26 and 27, especially 27. We can go as fast as we can and overtake in corner 27, and of course after that it's the big straight where we push a lot and where Dead Fast, Eclipse, Gladiator, Instinct, all the Fast and Furious boosts are at their best. 3 pit stops, only soft compounds. Be very careful for a safety car. I have told you many times that if we do many pit stops, we are exposed in a safety car. If we do only one pit stop, it's more safe strategy in case of a safety car, but we cannot plan our strategies saying that, oh, and what if a safety car comes? No, we have to be ready inside the track and careful. And well, what I'm saying now, I'm always not ready, I'm always not careful, and many times not focused, but you have to be focused in your race if something happens. And in strategies like that, if you want to avoid a disaster by safety car, take care the gap between your first and your second driver, it must be big. So even if your first driver gets surprised by safety car, you have the time to at least pit your second driver. Well, anyway, this is the fastest, as in Miami, this is the fastest strategy you can go, and this is the second fastest strategy, 332 with Street Shark. You can do Dead Fast and Lumberjack, but you won't be able to push so much, maybe only in the big straight, and be patient until the last stint where you can push more. A little bit slower the strategy, but effective too. Now, if it rains, I have never encountered rain in Jeddah. Never. I have played a lot, so many times, but never encountered rain. So, while taking a guess here, in Miami, Hex and Exception were good, even if we used them in a strategy with every stint 3 laps. I don't know in Zeta if this is the case, if we can go 3 laps with a wet compound and be able to push. Maybe we can, maybe we cannot. So, better be safe than sorry. 3 pit stops, Hex and Exception. If we want 2 pit stops, I'm saying Frost and Dragon. I'm not so sure. I have to say it. I have to admit it. I have never used the wet compound in Jeddah, and I don't know how many laps we can do with the wet compound in Jeddah. So if we can go 3 laps and push a little bit, then 3-3-2 with Hex and Exception. If not, I would prefer 3 pit stops, Hex and Exception than this one. But honestly, I really don't know how many laps we can go with the wet compound. After the opening, we will know for sure, and then on Sunday we will be ready for the best choice. So stay tuned to see the live streaming on Saturday, and then there we will together decide which is the best option. So this is it, I think. Yes, this is it. These are our 8 tracks for the weekend. Let's see them again. Netherlands, France, Baku, Bahrain, Austria, Silverstone, Abu Dhabi and Jeddah. 8 tracks. 4 of them with possibility of raining. The fastest lap, as we said, will be from Austria in the opening and final round. In the qualifying round was in Brazil. And this is, oh, okay. The camera what happened here? The camera have lost us. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, so sorry for this. This was a misclick by me. So that's it. Let's hope this video was helpful. Let's hope that, okay, let's hope that we at least gave you some good ideas for your racing weekend. If you liked the video, if you found it useful, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and stay tuned because more videos, not only like this, and live streaming with races and lot more are coming in the future. So thank you for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye.